Coach Heath, thank you for joining us. You come away with the first pick in the expansion draft, and anyone who's observing MLS lately knows there's a ton of talent, whether they're starting or they're on the bench, and you've got to feel good about having the #1 pick there.
Yeah, we thought that was important for us. You know, we're very, very pleased with a lot of the younger players that we have already signed. What we do realise is that we're going to have to start to put some battle-hardened MLS people around them. You know, it's a very unique league, and with the travel and everything that comes, and we think it's important now that we start to put people who know what's coming, what they expect out of the league. So for us, it was important that we got that, because I think with Man City with New York, I think their allocation was probably a bit more important for them than it was for us.
And when you look at a team like DC United this year, they've shown you that if you get the guys who've played in the league, it's such a leg up.
Yeah, I think most importantly, and I've spoke to a lot of people over the last few years, experience is really important for this league. People who actually get on with the job. You know, we know it's difficult when you're going from one coast to the other, and then maybe some of the guys have got Champions League things, and then you've got Open Cup. You know, it's not an easy league to play in. Mentally and physically, these guys have to be battle-hardened, and that's going to be an important thing for us moving forward. It's quite interesting. Obviously, I look at what Jason's doing with New York, a guy who's been in it 17 years as a player and a coach. Even some of the guys they've brought in, they've been in the league. They know what to expect. So I think that's some of the things that we're going to have to learn the lessons of.
When you're building the team out, I guess a lot of people are going to wonder, where do you plan on playing Kaka? Because I think that from that hinges a lot. Other things can fall into place after you do that.
One of the good things really about signing Kaka as early as we have, I've had a chance to have a lot of dialogue with him. You know, I'm planning on going down to Brazil to see him in the next few weeks. So that will help us, I think. One of the good things has been, which surprised me, you know, I've watched every game he's played since he signed for us. So you look back at the Milan games when he played wide left, which was incredible, the amount of work he was doing up and down on both sides of the ball. That surprised me. Obviously, we see him primarily as a number 10. That's the way he's always played, where he's probably more comfortable and has probably played his best football throughout his career. So, but the one thing is now there is another alternative. There's a position, you know, I think he can play any of the 3 forward attacking positions. So we've been playing like a 4-2-3-1. I think he could play any of the 3. And maybe, who knows, maybe as a withdrawn number 9, you know, number centre forward, just dropping off the 2 centre backs. So he's given us a little bit of food for thought. But as I said, I'm going down to see him in a few weeks, and we'll probably get a better idea how he's feeling and how he is physically.
Now that's one DP checked off the list. Everyone's going to wonder the team's plans ahead of the season. Second DP, possibly a third?
Second DP, a possibility, if the right player comes up that we think is the right type. You know, we certainly haven't ruled it out. A third one, I think, would be highly unlikely. Second one, maybe if the right player becomes available, who we think would be an important position for us moving forward.
And Adrian, in the debate about designated players, do you feel strongly that if you're going out to get a DP, he has to be a guy on the attacking side of the ball? We've seen rare instances where an Omar Gonzalez or Liam Ridgewell gets a DP contract as a center back. But if you're splurging the money, do you feel it has to be an attacking guy?
I think one of the things that we have to be realistic about is the reason that forwards and attacking midfield players go for the most money is they either score or they make goals. There's no other way of dressing it up. That's why they go for the most money. That's why people pay the most money. You know, that is the hardest part of the field to get right. And if you've got somebody who can consistently score, like Robbie Keane's done it, you know, Obi-Femi Martins, Clint Dempsey. You go through the league, these guys have come in because the coaches and the ownership groups of them clubs expect them to make a difference at the right end of the field, which is normally the forward end.
We're talking DPs, those really involved international players, scouting international players. How many countries how many are on your itinerary over the next 2-3 months?
Well, we've got to go down to South America. Obviously, I mentioned the fact that we're going down to Brazil to see Kaka and look at 1 or 2 other players. Uruguay, possibly Argentina. We've got a bit of Africa to do. We went down there last year, Senegal and Ghana. So I think they're due another visit. So it's going to be busy in the next few weeks. But all we're doing is trying to cover as many bases as we can, trying to get as many players in so as we can hit the ground running. We know it's going to be difficult. You know, Seattle are the only one since Chicago in the first year. So that tells you how difficult it is. But that's the aim, to finish in the playoffs and see where we can go from there.
Last 2 questions for you. with USL, do you feel you're going to have a leg up on New York City FC and maybe all the other MLS teams, given that you were obviously part of the league?
I think one thing that's helped us is we have all the infrastructure in place. You know, our office staff is completely full now. We've got everybody in place. I have a few more pieces to add to my squad, to my staff. But I think the fact that we've had time to work with the players that we've already signed, the fact that we've had a lot more time to actually gauge the league and look at players that we think may become available down the road, I think it stands us in good stead. But you have to look at, you know, New York City. They've got a great coach. I think Jason's arguably one of the best coaches in the league. His records, you know, shows that. So Claudio's there. They have a lot of financial backing and resources. So we know it's going to be difficult for us, but we think we'll be prepared.
And last one to close, now that you're watching MLS a little more intently, do you have a favorite? Do you have a team that stood out for you that you think has what it takes to win it all? I'm sure there are a few candidates. Who stands out for you?
Well, I think it's important that the teams with the best forwards are fit. I think that if Landon's fit and Robbie Keane's fit, Galaxy have got a threat. If Femi Martins and Dempsey keep developing their partnership, which looks as though it's very good. And I was at the Red Bulls the other night, and you know, obviously Thierry looks as though he's got the bit between his teeth, and if Bradley White-Phillips continues to score like he is, one of them three I think will win it. I know I'm not saying too much there with them three teams, but I think everything will hinge on the forward players.